your host, Brie Valentina, aka Bucky Barnes' #1 fan.
And I am Jimmy Smalls, and I'm just here for America's ass.
Ooh, I like that. At the end, where his eyes turn green. Spoilers. So eyes turn green. Although if you honestly, we're probably gonna say spoiler a lot, but
Spoiler.
like if you haven't watched the movie, go watch the movie and then listen to this podcast. You dingus, what are you
what's
doing?
wrong with you?
Yeah. Well, maybe this is probably the one that you could skip.
Honestly, we
all the other
won't
ones,
be offended.
Yeah, I wouldn't be offended.
Could you imagine if Harry Potter like had to activate his powers by just saying like Harry Potter or like Shazam?
He's like expecto patronum, and then he's a wizard.
He has like a deer horn. Sorry.
Side note. Okay, don't hate on me. And this has nothing to do with Captain Marvel. It has everything to do with Harry Potter.
Okay.
I have never fully seen all of the movies. I've been to Harry Potter Land or World at Universal Studios Hollywood, and I've seen bits and pieces of the first movie. I've seen maybe like halfway through the first movie, and I've seen clips from all the other ones.
Oh my god!
But I've not seen a full Harry Potter movie.
Have you read the books?
I read chapter 1 of the first book. And this fact, we didn't mention this on the podcast, but when we were watching the movie, we talked about this song. The first movie. Mm-hmm. So while filming the fight scene in Monaco, Mickey Rourke couldn't get the hang of the whips, so they played Gnarls Barkley's Crazy loudly for him to get the rhythm. So it's funny that we talked about that off air when we were watching the first movie. Mm-hmm. He said something about being crazy, and we're like, what if Gnarls Barkley just followed you around singing crazy all day? So I thought that was funny that like that they actually played that. Yeah, that actually happened.
Now I want to edit of Whiplash, like whipping the whips in Monaco to like crazy, like it's like bah, 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 bah.
I remember when. Oh
I need that TikTok edit right now.
Yes, make it, and I'll share.
I'll figure it out. It might take a couple weeks. I'm not good at editing.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll help you.
Thanks.
But that'd be perfect. Oh my gosh, I love that. Someone do that. If it's not us, someone else do it. You put your creativity to use. Do it for us.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I remember too at Autopia, I was working in the grandstand, which is basically like where the line goes when it gets super busy. When we're close to closing, we don't keep it fully open because there's no point. And I remember there were guests had just passed me to go through the line, and I felt someone pulling my hair, and there was nobody behind me, and I thought maybe it was like one of the guests, and they're like something had hit me, but they were way too far at that point. Like, and you can kind of tell too when someone's like running to catch up with their friends. Like, it wasn't like that. They were all just walking, and I felt like it was like a kind of a hard pull, and I got so freaked out.
There was no like ulterior motive or like agenda for her. You know, it's just the first time you see this woman just having to deal with being around all these powerful men, literally one of the powerfulest men alive. And making him cower because he doesn't even know what fondue is.
Yeah. He thinks it's a romp in the hay. Hey.
But
a time.
Honestly though, if you look like Steve Rogers, you can get this fondue any day.
The thought of like a weird guy coming to your house, breaking into your house, eating your food, and leaving a couple presents it was always weird to me.
I will not lie. Like, if you were to tell an alien about Christmas, he'd probably think it's very cultish. Like, you sing songs and you eat a feast and you leave out food for a crazy person to come and enter your house. But
most holidays are very cultish.
Yeah.
And they're all based off of the occult, funny enough. But We won't get it. That's a whole nother story.
That's a story for after the holidays. We don't want to ruin it for you.
No, legit.
But everyone, I don't know. You think I hate him. I don't hate him, but.
I don't think you hate him.
No, yeah. Yeah, he just follows me wherever I go. It's weird.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being a little creepy.
Well, it's like weird because it's like, you know, okay, like we mentioned him in the first episode, and then all of a sudden, like, as we mentioned last week, I hide a little Sebastian in every thumbnail, and I did that as a joke starting from the first episode, but I just can't seem to get rid of him.
I think you've manifested Sebastian Stan.
I probably have, you know, I'm gonna meet him one day.
Just in like the actions and.
I'm gonna meet him one day. He's gonna be like, "So I heard you think I'm stinky," and then I'm gonna have to like you. He's gonna corner both of us somewhere, and he's gonna be like, "I heard you think I'm stinky," and I'll be like, "It's a joke. You just look like you stink. I bet you smell fine." So, or maybe not. Maybe he does stink. I don't know. Let's wrap this up. Oh, fair. That's a lot. I'm gonna cut all that out. I'd like to see more of like he rescues Bucky, and then like it's like, oh, now we're fighting together, and like we're taking down Hydra, and I would have liked to see maybe more interaction of him.
Some more intimate moments between what I call the boyfriends.
The boyfriends. I heard that their ship name is Stucky.
Yes. The internet, specifically Twitter and Tumblr, have latched on to Stucky in a way that not only that I appreciate, but that can be a little bit obsessive.
You're describing pretty much all fan culture, I think, is obsessive.
You're not wrong, but most of them have great hearts. I actually know a few Stucky hands. Wow, I can talk. Stucky fans personally. Stucky stands. I don't like that.
Stucky stands.
But they technically are stands.
Fun facts about George Foreman. Most of his kids, I think a good majority of his kids have the name George Foreman.
Shut up.
Yeah. Like if he that's like a big thing. I'm gonna look this.
I'm already looking him up right now. You're good.
Are you really?
Yeah, because I was looking him up anyway to see what he was doing after all this time.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of his kids have the name, or it's like, you know, the female version of George.
I believe that. I can believe that.
But who knows? That might just be like an urban myth, an urban legend.
Some say George Foreman named every child in his family George Foreman. Even the girls.
He said that I named all my sons George Edward Foreman so they would always have something in common.
That's awful.
That's the
last thing I'd want to share with any of my siblings.
Like, instead of like we have something in common, like we both love basketball, or we both love, you know, we both love hockey, or we both, you know, both share a passion for grilling. Like, no, we all have the same name.
Thanksgiving must get so awkward.
Yeah. Hey, George, come here. Well, he goes, George II is Junior, George III is Monk, George IV is Big Wheel, George V is Red, and George VI is Lil Joe.
Is Lollipop.
We had mentioned this, or you had mentioned this while we were watching, that like the order that we're watching, I think, is a great order.
Yeah.
To be watching the movies in.
Yeah.
Because too, in this one, I was thinking about like when Agent Coulson comes on screen, I was like, oh my God, Agent Coulson, we already have seen him. We've already established who he is.
We saw him in the 90s.
You know, but like to see the progress of how the films are, you know, the progress of the journey, I guess, is what I meant to say, of the films. So yeah, it was exciting. You know, another thing, you know, it's not very memorable, but like when they were like, oh yeah, you have to wear this Cole's grandma necklace for the royal portrait, and I was like, her necklace looked way better.
The necklace
it looked more royal. Also, too, the mom, of course they have to have a dead mom that is like 10 times more beautiful than the husband.
Oh yeah.
I was like, why that stereotype? Just throw them all in there. Bakers, farms.
She's throwing off the cosmic nature of reality, and a hot mom can't get with an ugly dad. Because if so, then she's gonna have to die.
Well, the dad's also dead from the old king.
Yeah, the king. The king is dead.
The king is dead.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
it's a
there's so much going on in this movie. And honestly, the dress is the thing that I get like the most up in arms about, because it's literally the entire movie kind of centers around this dress. And you would think that it would be a little, it's modest and it's nice, but you would think it would be a little bit more like, you know, not wrinkled, or it looked like it came out of a Wish bag that you just like opened up and then threw on the actress and said, okay, good luck. Like, give her, she's supposed to be a queen. Give her tiara, right? Like something.
I don't think they care.
Get rid of those Skechers light-ups. I don't care for them.
I don't know. You know what? I don't care. Build that place, but I stole one.
Oh my god!
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I stole one, and
it's okay.
I feel bad. I lost it. We moved, and I lost it in the move, so it was kind of my own punishment is what I got. But I love that little thing. It was so cute.
So it's kind of like, you know how people always wonder, like, oh, how does Santa get to each house?
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe it's because when he visits your land or wherever, time freezes. So it's kind of mystical.
I've always pictured Santa as like a time jumper. That's the only way. Like,
yes,
I imagine like.
Yeah.
I'm weird though. I imagine like when he says like on Dasher, on Dancer, on Prancer, you know,
it's like a magic spell.
It's like a spell that opens up like a wormhole, and then the reindeers are just like traveling through a wormhole. Like that's right.
It might be, yeah.
You never know.
Well, and it's funny because speaking of time jumping, Robert Zemeckis, who directed this film, also directed Back to the Future. And there's some references to Back to the Future in this movie. So in the scene where the engineer and fireman are trying to grab the pin necessary for the train's throttle, in the background you can see a working flux capacitor. This is a reference to Back to the Future and can possibly mean the Polar Express is a functioning time machine.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting too.
I wonder if it's going, was it 66 miles per hour?
No, it's 88 miles per hour.
Is it 88? Oh, I knew it was 88. An even number. I just couldn't remember which one. My brain does this thing. Side note. My brain does this thing when it's excited. I don't know if anyone else can attest to this as well. But for me personally, like, whenever I see something that I love and, like, gets my, like, blood pumping and I'm just like, yes, this is the most awesome thing I've ever seen, I get tingle. My brain's kind of, like, tingly. Like, I can, like, feel, like, this, like, sensation, like, rush through my body. And by the end of that movie, I was just like, it was like this weird, like, out-of-body experience. And I remember looking to my dad, and he was just like, that was awesome, huh? And I was just like, yeah, no, this is a game changer. Like, I was so excited. I didn't care what was coming next. I didn't care what they were going to do after Iron Man. I just had to have more.
I thought that was cool. I was like, Odin is... I don't want to say he's like a god. He's like the godlike figure, like a Zeus sort of. Well, he is like the Zeus but like the you know, kind of watcher of all, I guess. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. That he runs the Marvel Universe. So, if he runs the Marvel Universe, why didn't he stop Thanos?
Well, by that time he was dead.
Well, I don't remember that, so spoilers. Whoops.
We'll talk about that again in Thor 3. You know what's fucked up, though? In my brain, while I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, she's literally the man in the chair. I'm so sorry. But they did it. They knew what they were doing. Okay, so in the movie, in the series, the prince has a sister who is paraplegic. And at times she has like her crutches, and at times she's in a wheelchair.
Most of the time she's in
most of the time she's in the wheelchair. But like she was the one like cracking into like the dark web to like help like the main character
I thought the old lady dropped it at the bottom of the ocean at the end.
Well, baby, I went down and got it for you. That's a Britney Spears.
I'm so glad we're friends because if y'all don't know that reference, and Bree, don't tell them. You don't deserve to know.
I did. I just did. I just did.
Wait. Dang it.
Well, maybe I'll. I don't know. I just did because I said Britney Spears reference.
I missed it. I was trying to stop you before you did, but
oh, sorry. Well, it's also another movie reference. So it's two references in one. So you have to figure out both. And we already gave you a clue as to
we're having fun here.
We're having fun. Don't ruin it for us. But now I can't stop thinking about Britney Spears. Anyway,
neither can I. Like, I always wonder if she's okay. Like,
same.
Save Britney.
Brittany, we hope you're doing good out there.
We love you, Brit.
We love you, Brit. We love you, Britney Spears. Leave Britney alone. Like, I am tired of kind of seeing that in the Marvel universe, where like every superhero has to have a love interest. You know, like, I think with the exception of Captain Marvel, but that was kind of written after all of these movies. Mm-hmm. You know, because like Iron Man has Pepper, Steve has Peggy, you know, Banner had what's her face. You know, and then Natasha afterward, you know, like, yeah, like, I'm trying to think of Spider-Man has MJ. Like, I'm tired of seeing like
every superhero
having to have a love interest or needing love in their lives. Like, I don't know, like,
there's so much just fucked up about this movie. Like, they really, and I feel like most of it was, most of it was Edward Norton's choice. Like, he like really just manhandled this movie. You know what I mean?
Well, again, he rewrote scenes every day.
I feel like a lot of this was his fault. I don't know why, but I'm just gonna pin it on him. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, I mean, if you rewrite, like I said before, if you're rewriting scenes every day, you're second guessing your choices and opinions. And you're not letting the story play out like it originally was. Like, I can understand rewriting a few scenes every once in a while. Like, oh, I think maybe this will be better than this. Like, or on the set. But also, too, I found out, and I forgot to mention this, but he was also self-directing himself at times. Which is, as an actor, I mean, like, I heard that the director broke his foot at one point in this movie. So he was, like, indisposed. So maybe that's why this movie is so bad, is because there's so many different creative opinions and choices and things
as my dad,
like, it's not cohesive.
Like as my dad would say, there was a lot of cooks in the kitchen and the food came out terrible.
Too many cooks.
It came out horribly. What did your grandpa do? He was in Vietnam.
He fought in World War II. He's not in a Marvel movie. Anyway, I need to stop talking. Oh wow!
Sign me up, you know.
Count me in.
Count me in. Mm-hmm. One time when I was growing up, I had an aunt who was like, "Okay, so I'm gonna take you to Costco and we're gonna get you like pizza and hot dogs and chips and a bunch of stuff, and you're gonna sneak it in a backpack, and you're gonna go to the movies for like 6 hours because I've got things to do, and I'll pick you up at like 8:00 at night." So it'd be like 2.
Jesus.
It'd be 2, and then I'd be at around the movie theater till like 9 or 10, and she'd be like, "Yeah, just sneak into the other movies." In terms of like, when you're looking for actors, you're looking for somebody that can really embody the role. Mm-hmm. And like I said, what better person than somebody who's dealt with a life in the public eye, who has had very public mess ups, and who can relate to this character and really turn him into a likable guy. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think risk taking sometimes is necessary. You won't know until you try. And yeah, it could have failed, but at least you said, well, at least you could say, I guess, at the end of the day that we took a gamble and it paid off, or it didn't pay off. Yeah. Like Sebastian Stan, Marvel.
Sebastian Stan just followed. I'm telling you, you and Sebastian Stan are meant to be. Like,
in a weird way.
I just have that feeling. I just have that gut feeling that you guys are like soulmates in a way.
Who knows? Maybe. Yeah, he follows me on. He doesn't personally follow me on TikTok, but
he follows you.
I got sucked into the Sebastian Stan side of TikTok. I don't know how, and I can't seem to get out of it. No matter how hard I try, it's either something related to Steve, something related to Bucky, or Sebastian Stan, or Chris Evans. And I'm like, how did I get into this? So
she wasn't paying for the movie. She should have at least paid for the movies. Like
she paid for the movie. She would pay for the movie. She would give me like a ticket from like Costco, and then give me $20. Yeah, and then be like, you have to sneak into the others. He's following me like a creepy shadow in the night.
A stinky shadow in the night.
A stinky shadow man. You've been playing with the Shadow Man? Just kidding.
Are we gonna watch that movie at some point?
I would love to.
I feel like
I would love to. Yeah.
Like they got rid of some good stuff, but like most of the stuff, like I never ate. I get the same thing every time I go to Taco Bell. Same. So like I'm like I couldn't even. It's so funny. I couldn't even think of anyone who ate the Mexican pizza, and I posted about it too.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, and people were like, I love the Mexican pizza.
I'm just like, shut the fuck up. We've been to Taco Bell so many times, and I've never seen y'all get a Mexican pizza. Yeah. Y'all can go somewhere with that shit. Like, the minute I post about the Mexican pizza, then everyone's like, I love the Mexican pizza. I'm like, no, I don't think I
ever had the Mexican pizza. No, you don't. You're just saying it. Yeah.
If I want pizza, I'm getting pizza. Like
the only time I had fun in this movie was when we were laughing about when the kids, and this is why I said little brother in my my fact is because we were watching the movie and I was
I'm sorry.
I was talking about the little kids because they were throwing things and
I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay.
They were throwing things into the hole and they were watching them drop back down, and then they threw, what was it, like a brick? Yeah, and they throw this brick and they go,
James throws a brick
and they go, sometimes things don't come back. And right after that, I immediately interjected with, that's how I lost my little brother. And we couldn't stop laughing.
No, because it was so quick. Like, it was literally like right after they said, like, not even a millisecond after they said that, like, Bree just chimes in with that. And I lost my shit. Like, I was in tears. I started sweating. I was laughing so hard. We were laughing for like a good 5 minutes. But yeah, like I was just dying. I couldn't, it caught me off guard. And then it was just so damn funny that I just couldn't control myself. And I literally had to
we had to pause the movie because we were laughing so hard.
I had to calm down, kind of like right now. It was great. It was just a great joke.